Will, sir, by far the youngest entrepreneur that I know in the Valley. Honestly, I've been following you a little bit on Instagram and just seeing the beautiful things you do. And just talking to you a little bit before this, it comes from a deep passion, man. So introduce yourself, kind of how did you get to what you do and what do you actually do in that garage, man? It looks like you make magic happen. At first there's a ugly car, bubbly car, then there's a beautiful shiny car.
Well, I mean, it all kind of started when I was 16.
Yeah.
Even younger than now. I worked at a shop. I kind of just started working there. First it was kind of just to get some money.
Yeah.
Soon it became more of I kind of like this, It's kind of I find I enjoy just seeing a car come in looking and when it leaves, you're just kind of I did that.
Yeah.
And you see the smile on the person's face, you're you kind of start growing a little more. I like doing this.
Okay.
So from there on, I kind of kept doing it. I had dreams of doing it myself. I actually told the guy I worked for, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to have my own thing one day.
Yeah.
And he laughed at me.
Really?
Yeah. So we had a supply guy who used to bring supplies. He's like, hey, this kid thinks he's going to open up his own shop one day. And he kind of laughed at me, and I was just kind of dreams broken. I went home that day. I was mad, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, honestly was. I was like, wow, it's really is it that difficult?
Right.
So from there, I kind of left that shop. I still kind of kept it in the game. Didn't really do anything at home. And I went to another shop. This was a game-changing shop. I worked on cars that I've never seen before. Anything from $500,000 to $1 million.
Okay.
And soon I became kind of at the top. A car would come in hey, that's going to be Will's car. Will's going to work on that car. And then after then it kind of became it's oh snap, this is all me.
Yeah.
So
so you became a professional, or your quality of work just skyrocketed there.
Yeah. So coming in there, seeing those cars, that's what kind of changed it even more. Because before it was I was working on dealer cars, Toyotas. Nothing against Toyotas.
Hey, import, baby, import.
Yeah, so I was working on Toyotas, Jeep cars, whatever. And then I came to this shop. It's Porsches, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, all these crazy cars.
So you kind of got a little motivated, dang.
Yeah, it's snap, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then the guy who I worked for, he owned those cars, and I was kind of man, I want these cars.
Yeah.
And then my oldest brother, who's my business partner, he kind of helps me and everything. He's man, if you work just as hard, you're going to have that stuff too. And then that's when it kind of was okay, I want to do this on my own now.
Okay.
So from there, we kind of just slowly, we bought a single polisher, couple towels, whatever, wax on, wax off.
Did you go to your local AutoZone, pick up some polishers, or you already knew what you were looking for?
No, we were still kind of at that budget.
Okay.
But we took a picture, man, we thought we had it.
Yeah.
We had a little section of the garage, a little cupboard.
Yeah.
And it was had some stuff in there, man, this is legit.
Yeah.
And then from there, obviously I started learning a lot more. No one really taught me. That's the thing. Okay. No one had time to teach me or anything.
Yeah.
So most of it was just self-taught. Okay. I would kind of hey, to the boss, I'm hey, can you order this? I want to try it out. And he would order it. So I didn't have to spend any of my money. So I'm hey, there's this new product coming out. Can you buy it? And he's yeah, of course. So he'd buy it. I'd try it out. And I was not good.
Yeah.
Or if it was good, I'd hey, buy more. It's good.
Yeah.
So that's how I kind of learned. And then the technique I taught myself.
But okay, the cars that you were practicing on, did people just give you these cars, or did you find fenders outside and then you started polishing them? How did that happen?
No, that's the thing. I was even scared too. You're polishing a car, obviously, going behind that, you're taking you're leveling out the clear coat.
Yeah.
But if you burn it, I mean, you have to repaint that whole fender on that car, which is it can go anywhere from $500 to, you know, if it's a
$2,000,
special
yeah.
like paint, it's $2,000.
Yeah.
So sometimes it was a little scary. Like, am I about to burn through this clear coat, or is it going to like work out and we're going to just squeeze it through?
There's no beep or just like beep, 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 beep.
No,
Okay,
no, there's
thin.
no warning. If you go at it, I mean, it's just going to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about exactly what you do. What is the process? Honestly, why I want to talk about this is because I want to kind of underline the fact that this isn't a trade where you need a 4-year degree.
No.
This is something, like you said, this is a passion. You make things look beautiful. You make them look gorgeous. Like I've seen some of your pictures, and you can make a living off of this, man.
No,
you don't
sure.
have to go $200,000 into debt, you know, to get a degree.
Yeah.
You obviously got to spend some money on equipment and all that stuff, but it's worthwhile.
No, of course.
So let's talk about the process. What is it? What is it you actually do?
So for me, what I do is I like anyone who kind of watches. There's a lot of people on YouTube who do it too. So basically, for the first process, you obviously wash the car. That's where a lot of people will stop. Like, you know, I wash my car; it's good enough. We don't stop there. You know, we have our like lights, expensive lights that we, you know, can see from certain angles, like how the paint actually looks. And then from there, you basically have to level the clear coat once again, how it was from factory. And that's what will give it that like super glossy look. And then from there, you could take it like, it's like kind of like 4 steps up.
Okay, let's back up. What do you mean by level the clear coat?
So,
because I know like
there's like a scratch. So a scratch basically is like a
little river.
Yeah, it's like a little cave in your paint like this, and that's what causes like that imperfection. So when it
doesn't allow the light to reflect.
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
So when you're buffing it, you're leveling it back out. Kind of same thing if you're sanding something, you're leveling it. Same thing, like sanding, buffing. You're like leveling out that clear coat once again, which gives it that like gloss and like clear look to it.
Okay. So you don't sand it before you level it?
You don't want to if you don't need to.
Okay, because then it just removes more clear coat.
Yeah. So then you're that's where you get into more trouble.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you level it. What's you wash it, then you level it.
Like, okay. So if you want like a clear step by step, you wash it, you have to clay it. So you can remove any kind of dirt, iron.
What's clay it?
Like a clay is, I don't know how to explain it, but
it's like a block piece of clay.
It's a piece of clay, and when you have to have it wet.
Okay.
And then when you like kind of
roll it on the car,
not roll it, but you kind of have to give it some like kind of rub it on there.
Okay.
And it'll pick up dirt, so it sticks to it basically.
Okay.
So like your wash mitt, whatever you're using to wash, it won't like pick all the dirt off.
Okay.
So you kind of use this mitt or clay, which will pick it off.
Okay.
So then once you have that, it's smooth, it's clear.
Okay.
And then you can proceed to like kind of buff it, because now your buffing pad isn't getting all this dirt.
All the dirt.
Yes, clocked in there.
Okay. So that's step number 3, claying it. You wash it, clay it, then level it, or level it, then clay it?
No, you clay it, then level.
Clay, then level. After you level, what happens?
You can either put on a wax,
okay,
which is kind of like more of the cheaper route.
Yeah. Or
you can add like a ceramic, it's called a ceramic coating. That'll like seal the paint for, they're very high technologically advanced now. And that'll like preserve the paint or keep it like basically so like the sun or whatever.
So it adds like a protective film.
Yeah, it's basically you're adding a whole nother layer of
I saw
clear to it.
Yeah, I saw you post like little bottles of liquid,
little bottles,
liquid gold or something, whatever they call it.
It's a Japanese handmade like coating.
Okay.
That's actually self-healing.
Oh.
So like if you scratch it, it'll level back out onto the paint.
Wow.
So it's pretty advanced.
Okay, so that's the process of what you do. What is your like someone trying to looking into this, right? What does your schedule look like? Is this your full-time gig now? Is this you're still starting out? What stage are you in with this?
Currently, we're at the kind of we aren't full into like a website or on Yelp. For now, we just use Instagram to kind of show what we do. Obviously, we have plans of creating a website, having our full services out there, and obviously Yelp to use that.
Okay.
But currently, we're at the stage where we kind of just people hit us up, we do it. But no, it's not a full-time gig yet.
Okay.
Because it's kind of just like.
So how bad does a car need to be scratched up where you say I can't do this, or
I can't say like
you can't say
me,
you can't
I can't say no.
Really?
I like the challenge.
Okay, so no matter unless it's like chips, right?
I mean, unless you have like dope paint,
okay,
then I'll say no. Like there's no hope.
What kind of paint?
Like if there's no clear coat on the paint, it's just like completely
like
off.
A Mako paint job.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so I've met guys that are people that love a car with a little bit of orange on there, that original texture of a paint job. And then I've met guys that love it, no orange. They want everything. They want everything perfectly smooth, buffed out. What do you prefer? Or how do you see that?
I prefer the no orange look because it's more clear.
Okay.
But the less orange you have, the more prone you are to kind of seeing imperfections.
Okay, because the orange kind of blends it in.
Yeah, it'll kind of hide some things. It's like thicker clear coat.
Okay, and how? I don't know. Someone listening to this movie doesn't know what the heck orange is. What
it's orange peel. About? So basically, it happens when if you're laying down clear coat.
Okay.
If you lay too much, it'll kind of give it like a ripple.
Yeah.
Look. But if you lay it like super clear, or like super clean,
like when you're painting a hood, it just kind of like.
Yeah, it's just the way I mean,
sets.
and it's obviously like the quality of the clear coat you're using. If it's like super expensive, but usually all. Other than if you're getting it like from factory, because factory, some cars don't have clear, some cars have clear.
What? From the factory, some cars don't have clear coat?
No, they don't have like that orange.
Oh,
orange peel. Yeah.
Okay,
they don't have like the orange peel look to it. But that's gonna be like your very high end cars.
Okay.
So like currently, a lot of big distributors like Toyota, for example. I don't want to bash on Toyota, but their cars have a lot of clear, like the orange look to it. Because they're mass produced.
Right.
So they're just spraying them. They keep coming out, spraying them.
Okay. If you compare like different car brands or different car makes, which cars have the best clear? Or do you usually correct buff a car that's been repainted after?
I mean, I do everything.
Okay.
But so far that I've seen, I want to say the best clear on a car is probably like a Lamborghini. So like the Lamborghini I did, it was repainted after the accident. They repainted it, and we had to match the original clear, like the original panel, to the repainted panel, which meant like sanding it down, and getting it to look as smooth as the rest of the car does.
Okay, so Lamborghini's obviously a car that most of us can't afford.
Well, you could if you don't have a house.
You could if you don't have a house.
Yeah, I mean, if you like, don't want a house, you can afford a Lamborghini.
Or you could go get a student loan and instead buy a Lamborghini with it. That's true. But what about like our daily cars that we can actually afford for the average Joe or Susie?
That's the thing, though. Your average Joe and Susie are buying these, obviously like these cars that are mass produced.
Yeah.
And those distributors, they know that these cars are going to be driven a lot. So that's why they put a lot of clear coat, which gives the orange peel look. So like a Lamborghini they can do it like that because that car, you don't see a Lamborghini at 100,000 miles. Like they're usually around like 20, 30,000. That's like high mileage on one of those cars.
Because people don't usually rough them up, drive them around.
That's the thing. They don't have to like do all that extra like clear coat and all that because that car is not going to see that much sun.
Okay. But then when you come back to polish it and you're burning more away, isn't there like a higher chance of you burning through the clear coat or no?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
So what happened? Have you had to repaint a panel?
Have I burned?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I have. Yeah. That was like when I just started off. It was actually on a Toyota.
Okay.
And it had like not a lot of clear on it. And I was just kind of going at it. And I look at my pad and I'm like, it was a yellow pad and the car's black. I'm just like looking at the pad, looking at the car. I'm like,
your pad's turning black.
So I look at the car and I'm just like, oh man, I actually did it.
So you were working at a shop then?
That was at a shop at that time, but it was on a fender. It was a Tacoma. It was like right on a little ridge.
Okay.
And you couldn't see it like in the sun, but under like a high powered light, you can see it.
Yeah, that it burned through.
Yeah.
So what does that do? Like if somebody burns their car or burns their paint, what does it do to, does that affect, I mean, obviously it doesn't affect your car performance.
No, obviously not. But it does affect it has an effect on how durable your paint now is.
Okay, it starts chipping or flaking or whatever.
Yeah, it'll just kind of start to deteriorate a little faster.
Okay. Do people need to get their cars clear coated polished or whatever else, or is this something only for people kind of that want this to happen?
This is definitely
This is a luxury?
It's a luxury. Yeah, it is a luxury. It's like for those people who notice,
Okay.
It's like your average Joe, takes his car to Quick Quack.
Yeah.
He doesn't care that some guy who had a muddy truck just went in there before, and that same propeller that's cleaning his car.
Yeah, it's rubbing all over his Mazda or whatever.
Yeah, so he doesn't care.
What's the cheapest car that somebody's had you polish up?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like,
not too many cheap people don't really mess too much with cheap cars.
Yeah, I can't even even at the shop, I can't really think. Maybe, I don't know, because a lot of the cars I did at the shop, if it was a cheap car, it'd be a dealership, and they obviously want to sell it.
Okay.
So they want to get it detailed. But so far at our place, I don't know, maybe like a Tacoma, and those aren't even that cheap.
Right. Okay, so you don't only do polish, you also do detail. What exactly do you guys offer? All the things that you guys offer in your garage?
So I mean, it varies a lot. We're obviously trying to implement a lot of more, more protection programs. But we do anything from we can wash your car and vacuum your interior to we're laying down a protective film, which can vary anywhere from $150 to $7,000.
Yeah.
So it's very big range in what we do.
Okay, got you. What is your schedule like? You're working, because you said this isn't your full-time thing yet. I don't know why. I don't know if you're pursuing other things, but what is your current schedule like? As you're trying to develop this business into something bigger.
Currently, I mean, I kind of try to get something in on a Monday, because I do work the weekends at a different place. So Monday, and then if I need to get it back to him at a certain time, I'll work late into the night. So I mean,
so you work Mondays only?
No, it's Monday through Friday.
Okay, Monday.
But I try to start on a Monday.
Okay, got you.
Which is ideally when you want to start.
Okay, how long does it usually take on average? Obviously, every car is a little different. How long does it take average to finish a car?
Anywhere from a day to 4 days.
Okay, and that's 4 days is going in deep through everything, or
4 days is pretty. I would say it's pretty going in pretty deep, but it's something that can take even up to over a week. It's just depending. It's just how time consuming and nitpicking everything is.
Okay,
because that's what you're doing. You're nitpicking. You're going that
yourself.
You're going that extra mile just to get it perfect.
Yeah.
Because at some point, it's not even to satisfy the client. It's just to satisfy myself.
Well, see, that's the pretty cool thing, is you said you have a passion for it. So if you let something go that's not to your standard or that's not perfect, it's probably going to bother you.
Yeah, it does.
So we talked a little bit about this, but why cars? Because I know you're also on the other side pursuing something else that has nothing to do with cars. Why'd you decide to choose cars? Is this something you grew up in, or?
It's not. I mean, there's a lot of people who do construction or medical field, but for me, cars is just. always had a passion for cars. Like I love cars. Even like when I was young, watching Fast and Furious movies, like on the computer when like, your parents weren't around.
Coming out soon.
Yeah. So even then, like just seeing those cars, and then you would go on the computer, you search up like a Skyline. You're just like looking at it, like, wow, it's so cool.
Just drilling all over it.
Yeah, and then and next thing you know, that car's in your garage.
Yeah.
So I mean, just seeing those cars way back in the day as a kid, you always just have that passion for them. So I mean, as long as you just kind of keep that same passion and everything, it's just going to be a dream of yours to own one of those cars too.
Okay, so I'm definitely, I don't know how many polishers, or what do you guys call yourselves? Car detailers?
Car detailer enthusiasts.
Car detailer enthusiasts, entrepreneurs, paint mechanics. I don't know, with AKA paint doctors. I bet you there's another kid somewhere out there, that has that same exact passion.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of people who.
So like, if I'm a kid that has a passion for something like that, what's a good way for me to start? What kind of, like, can I go to my O'Reilly down the street, pick some things up, or is that something?
No, I mean, you can definitely, whatever you want to do is you can wash cars and make a living off of it. Like, you don't have to like become like this big like detailer like into it.
Yeah,
you can just wash cars for your neighbor. I wouldn't say neighbors, but you can have a car wash. You see them on every corner, like hand wash, 5-star like detailing places. Like they'll like lick your car out. And then you don't have to do like the crazy stuff that we do. So you can obviously wash cars, and if you want to, if you have that passion to do it, I would suggest watching YouTube. Kind of just get some knowledge from there before you just jump into it, and then
spend money.
Yeah, and then you're burning the clear coat, and you're calling the guy like, "Hey, I just
screwed up your car.
Take your clear coat off." Yeah. So I would definitely just look on YouTube, kind of educate yourself.
So you said you worked for a shop, then you worked for a different shop.
Yeah, 2 shops total.
So are there shops like that hiring, looking for helpers to start out, or how do that happen?
They always kind of are. People just, that's the issue though, is they don't come across a lot of people who want to stay. There's like a high demand in some areas for like, detailing, obviously. So they'll hire like young people, like how I was 16 years old and I got hired at this place. But I mean, in the beginning, it was kind of like, it wasn't easy. Like it was kind of hard labor. Like it's hot outside, you're sweating it up, you're washing the car. So it's not easy. You're out there for 8 to 10 hours. So it's not for everyone.
Yeah. So do you get to eat while you're buffing these cars?
No, you take a break.
Okay.
But that's the thing, you get a nice little tan out of it too.
That's sweet, dude. That's awesome. So I used to know a guy used to work in a shop, do a little bit like body work and stuff like that. And there used to be a guy there that would buff cars also, and he'd sand them down, the whole 9 yards. Speaking to him recently, he's like, there's not that much interest in like buffing cars or waxing cars. I don't even know all these terms that you guys use. Is there a demand for this? I mean, or what do you see? Is there a demand? Is the demand maybe rising?
I would say the demand is more for mobile.
Okay.
From what I've kind of seen, a lot of people don't own 2 cars.
Okay.
I take that back. People do own 2 cars, but not everyone has that like
spare car.
Yeah, that spare car to kind of just give it to you for a week. So what they want is they want you to come to their house. Or they want you to come to their work. Okay. If you're doing like a mobile wash, I feel like there's always gonna be a demand for that because people are busy. They work 9 to 5. They don't have time to come to you after work. To wherever you are. So they want you to come to them. So I feel like for that there will always be a demand.
So what are you doing as a young entrepreneur to become mobile?
I'm looking into buying a van.
a Sprinter.
A little like not even. I want a Sprinter. Those are cool. But I mean, just some small like little van. Just throw your stuff in there and just go to do house calls.
But then doesn't that take away kind of from the quality that you want to provide when you have like a controlled environment in the garage that you've set up?
Right, it is very controlled in there. It does take it away, but then you do kind of cater to like a whole different kind of people too.
That's true. Because the people that have the spare car is probably the more high-end cars and stuff.
I mean, ideally, that's what I do want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like that guy said, there's not the height of a demand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is, but like not everyone has.
You got to be the best in town to be demanded, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, from what you've said, man, like you worked in a shop, you were the demanded one to work on certain cars. If you keep up your hustle, you keep up your good quality, I'm sure people will notice your work, and there will be a high demand. I really hope that for you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything you would like to say to a young man looking to get into cars?
I mean, yeah, of course. There's a lot of stuff to do.
Okay, with cars.
There's like a lot to do with cars. Like there's you can do window tinting, you can do detailing, you can do dent removal, you can powder coat wheel, like you can do wheel repairs. Okay. You can own a tire shop. I don't know. You can do alignment, smog, everything. There's a lot in the whole like car community that kind of just you can look into anything.
And the cool thing is you don't need crazy degrees. Just expose yourself to those things, or to people that can teach you these things. Become kind of like you said, if you have a passion for it, become the best at what you're doing, and that's how you're probably gonna succeed. So you said you don't have a website yet. Where can people find you guys?
We're still on Instagram. That's kind of where we just show everything we do. It's Refine Auto House. So far just Instagram. We're working on a website for the future, as well as kind of like I don't really see that many people on Facebook anymore. But we do kind of do post.
Hey, all the boomers are still on Facebook.
Hey, those are the people who want their cars detailed. So, yeah.
Hey, no offense, boomers.
We love the boomers.
Alrighty, man. Well, thank you for coming on. Thanks for sharing. I know you inspired some people out there. Looking.
I hope so.
Looking to get into something that you do, and I hope this helps. Maybe promote your kind of what you do a little bit, your passion. So
yeah, I mean, people are always looking, but there's people who are like, hey, I didn't even know you did this. So it's like,
well, dude, I had no idea you did it either until I saw you in one of the pictures that you guys posted. I saw the car. I was like, dude, whoever this is, this dude does a good job.
A lot of people will be like, hey, is this William? I'm just like, yeah, this is me. He's like, oh man, I didn't even know that was you.
Yeah, that's cool, dude. So yeah, put yourself a little bit out there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Peace.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.